4-element serial Sy27. So it's hooked up, but you guys can see the gamma match. And that's the damage. My mom just went to go see my brother today on her birthday. So that's where it's at. But it's on a 2 right now. I'll show you guys to the second. Show you in a second. Close. There it goes. 4 elements. So it's going good, but I'll show you guys in a second what I measure it. It's at 201, and you guys can see it here. There it goes. On channel 1. See? And I'll show you guys in a second. That's the problem I'm having. Could be the coax. It's an ORJ50 I got back, and I used on my Cobra 139 a while back on that little silver antenna you guys see on my videos. See? Because I got it very close to. Well, I'll show you guys in a second. We're going to try and get this thing up to 40 feet in the air when we get a chance. It's going to take me a while to get this whole thing set up. You guys know, because when my sister saw this antenna, she had a crap fit about this one, but I had got it before we knew. But usually I got the mounts for it already. But yeah, I already looked at the things. You can have if you don't go above 60 feet, you're okay. Pretty good. And that's just a mill dopper, just playing around with me. So we got it on channel 40, 1.7. See how it drops with that gamma match? I'm gonna leave it right there. It takes a while. Just maybe give me like a custom gamma match for the serial. That'd be awesome. If you guys know something like that, maybe you guys send me one of those custom gamma matches that will fit that kind of antenna, and maybe it'll get these SWR to drop, or probably go with a better coax system like an RJ8. If you guys got a 50-foot RJ cable around somewhere, 50 foot or 100 foot long, I'll take it for free if you guys want to do it, and we probably get this thing down. But I got a tuner for this, but I need to get a tuner for this thing. I have that AT100 and that little antenna matcher. It's only like 100 watt, but that's what they are. It should be able to knock this down with a tuner quite good if you put a good coax system on it. But I tune it the best I can. But this guy on this YouTube channel out of Missouri, he makes it sound very easy, but I didn't trim the antennas. I don't want to do the trimming, because if you trim it, you can mess it all up. And I'll show you what all the elements I got here. I'm going to go back to channel 1. Yeah, that's why millennium type girls do not understand about CB radios. Because my sister's pretty messed up from that stuff from Utah land. Because when I used to live in that area, they had all these stupid regulation crap things. You guys know about the Utah parts and know that. Here, in this area, you don't have no worry, because it's very out in the dead end areas. Mostly, we're pretty far away these areas. But yeah, this area doesn't have a lot of houses where I live. Not many. Mostly, we'll get this beam up sometime during the summer. We'll be able to get this thing set up. I got the pole right there ready to go. I'm going to see if I can get away at least 40 feet, because that little thin pole might be able to work. I was going to go for 30, which I'm going to do it. I got the mount for it already. Just need to get the bag of concrete for it and got it ready to go. Might put it on that brown pole to cut that down, put it between there, but I'm going to be worried about the trees. But I think I got a lot of room. But this is what the measurement of the beam antenna is. I'm going to mark them A and B, but I got them wrote down. You guys see with 19 foot, and I put them in that direction when I did. And the trim is on the right side. But I don't want to trim this sucker either way. If you guys know what custom gamma match is, if you guys have a custom gamma match for a serial, probably fit on a different one, we might get it to work on a 4-element. So you see that's the gamma match right there. I never trimmed it at all. I did everything with the direction told me to do. But this guy on this YouTube channel makes it sound easy. I bet he had something like metal objects or something like that. And let me tell you, it's usually quite good. We're going to show you in a second what it looks like. So I got that on video. You guys see the beam antenna. You guys see how big that thing is. I'm going to be painting that sucker black soon. And it's usually take it easy. It takes apart pretty fast. But I'm probably going to get some better, one of those hex type screw things do it. But the tool that comes with it, you got to get a better one to do it. I sealed those things up yesterday. You guys can see what I did. You guys can see the whole thing. It does move, but when you tighten it up, that's what I did. So I'll show you guys what I've done, all that. See the measurements on this one? That's the back side of the beam. That's the 19 foot right here. It's 19 foot. But the problem with this, it had the gamma match because I think it could be the coax. This is the coax I used back in Utah on the Cobra 139. On this antenna here, this big silver thing, that antenna I did back then. And we'll be able, I don't know if I bend the gamma match, but I don't think it affects it. You guys can see it on video. I'll show you proof of that. Give you a shot at that. So looking affected to you guys? Not likely. But the good thing, ooh, easy, don't hit the beam. It's very tight. So looking quite good. And that's what I tied it up with. You guys see all the other beam things. Let me show you the measurements I did on this. I know it's hard to see with the sun glare in the eyes. And that's what I'm saying. I'll show you in a second. You guys see that? That's 8 foot, 106 inches, 3/8. Same thing on this one here too. And I sealed these up with heat shrink wrap. I got that stuff at Harbor Freight the other day. That's what I did. I had to put that out there. I don't know if it's actually affecting the SWR quite a bit. But this guy did it on YouTube when he did it. It's not touching it. It's not touching it at all. Could be all these objects in the metal I'm holding. But it's the same thing when I sealed this too. You guys see that, what I did? With heat shrink wrap over the plastic thing. Because I was trying to keep the water out. This guy sealed it a different way. But at least I cut the edges off. I'll show you in case Eric D actually sees this. Because he usually likes to comment about this thing. But these antennas are kind of different when you do it. But you got to get a tuner for them. That's what I do. With the tuner, it should be no problem. Because if I keep it down on 2, maybe changing out the coax might do it. Or somebody could build me a balun that actually can cut it down in half with the SWR. We can probably get it on the 27 megahertz up to the free band channels. That's why I want to stay in that area. And down to 26 megahertz. But let me tell you, it's not doing the default 26 megahertz, so that instruction is a lie. But maybe it's looking good. I had to straighten this out today on a test pole. Maybe we'll raise it. But I put that on there, guys. Do it. We're going to paint this whole thing black. Same kind of paint I use. The Mako is doing really awesome. But I don't know about that Silver Eagle, what happened to my thing. But the Army Italy is doing really fantastic on the Cobra 139. It's getting good results on it. I never done that before with the Mako. So you guys see how I did that? So you guys don't get that. It's the hottest part of the day. I had to do this because a lot of people are not going to come out in the hottest part of the day. But my sister had a shit crap fit about this thing, believe me. And I checked all out. They said some areas could be 20 feet near the airport, but the airport's like 5 to 8 miles away. They're way out of my area, so they can have 60-foot poles. And they had one time I looked on the internet, and this tower is not very far where I live. I think it's the 200-foot tower I found right down a couple of miles down the area. They got shut down probably by, you know what? Probably back in 2001. He probably had no permit because he was above 60 feet. He was 200 foot. That's probably what it is. And they probably haven't done this area at all. But this area's got a lot of hammy-ham areas. But most of the hammy-hams are pretty about 5 miles away from me. Mostly 3 miles. And none of my area doesn't have them. They're about a couple of miles away from here. That's where they're at. I put that on there. You guys see what I did? I did a fantastic job. I got this heat shrink at Harbor Freight yesterday, the other day, in like white box packets, like the Chicago version. And it came with a bunch of heat shrink wraps from different sizes. I used the 1 inch and the 3/8. it's not affecting the meter. It could be because I'm low to the ground, or we need to change out a better coax and get an antenna tune system that will fix it. And I think that's the only thing I need to do with an antenna tuner. It'll be okay. You have no problems with it. But I don't want to trim this antenna to mess everything up, because if you screw it up, you will definitely waste the whole thing. That's why they say you have to trim this down a bit. But I'm not going to do that. Because Jungle Joe did not, on that guy, he told me he did not trim his. I'll show you guys what it looks like from above. You guys can see it. She's a huge one. Plus we got a garden here quite good, guys. Uh-oh. My screen got messed up, so that's back on again. High from the heat. So this thing does not like heat weather. So we're looking good on the beam antenna. And I might be able to put it over here, guys. That's what my mother wants to do, but right here would be perfect. But if it's over here and use those mount poles, you guys see the mount poles in the background? See those big giant silver thing and the black thing? I was going to put them 2 foot in the ground. The silver is going to attach the other ones on the top of it. So guys, here's the garden. Like good. And don't worry, guys, I did a fantastic thing. Look at the broccoli coming in. This is going to be great when I get this. I've been growing this for a while. Show you some of this stuff. And we're just showing to make Sy27-4. This thing I could take off just right now in about 15 minutes and paint this up. I had to do this to try to get the gamma match test. I had to do this yesterday, all day yesterday. But my mother should not be worried about that stuff, because my dad still hasn't walked yet. But she's been on a strip. But my brother's in a good home right now. Today's his birthday. And I'm just a shout out to the people out there. We'll probably get this beam set up by during the end of the summer or this summer. It's going to take a while. But the pole is going to be the ones that are going to be setting up real soon. I'm going to be getting that real soon. And we got corn coming in, guys. Very quite good. And some beans. You guys can see that right away. So I keep the camera really low here. You guys can see that. And this is squash. So I love to plant more of this. Let's hope we can get this beam going real soon. I want to get it done. But you guys see that. But I want to get that thing in the same spot, or probably near that brown pole area. Most of it's all rotted boards, but there'll be a good mount you can hold it up the way. I'm thinking about doing it with the meal tape to hold in one of those areas to lift it up. This is a light antenna. If Dallas wants to help me out, UGX340 said what I need to do. I don't think we have these things on backwards, because I did everything right. That's the smallest 8-footer here. You guys see that? And I measured by measuring. I did not do the centimeter thing on the thing, because on the instructions they show micrometers. That's kind of different than international stuff. This is a sirio Sy27. It's an Italy brand name, and it's a good quality one, they say, and it lasts longer. But I like the way it seals it, the screws, what it does. This thing is amazing. If we get this thing going, but I'm not going to fire it up until we get these SWRs down quite a bit. Maybe I need to get a better good coax, maybe 50 foot longer. And I'm using an RGA58U. You guys know that is. That's a Radio Shack RGA58 I'm using. That's how I came with that. And we might be able to use this pole to extend that thing to 40 feet. This pole here. This used to be on my old ham radio system back in Utah. This pole I kept. And that one probably be something I'd love to attach to. It's not going to be thin. It's not cheap made. We might be able to use that. I don't know. Everything's pretty hot out here, almost 100 degrees. So, just going to let you guys go, but let me show you the big poles I got here. Let me show you the birdies. They're doing good. You guys want to see that. That's for 2112 out there in Wagon Master. These are actually golden buffs, and we actually have a gray golden buff. They're very rare. And my sister got them up in near Pikeville, Tennessee back several months ago. Up in near the Sasquatch Valley area. That's where all the most farms in Tennessee. I think Dallas should go with that area. Let me see. Don't want to show that area. The good thing I did to my house, I blurred it all out here. And you guys can blur out your houses on Google, on Street View. Make sure you guys do it. So my house is all blur. And they haven't updated this area for 2007, but I think they shut off the camera when I saw the Google video a couple of weeks ago. Mostly they're only going by the school areas and high schools and the main roads, but let's hope it's true. And the Mako is doing beautiful. So I had to pop that thing back a couple weeks ago. You guys saw those rabbit ear antennas I put up there. We don't have cable now. We still have internet and all that, but mostly we use Roku on the internet to watch that stuff. But I can check my local weather on the local channels in Knoxville. Maybe we'll get some better rabbit ear antenna systems in the future. We could always, yeah, this thing could be used as a TV antenna, but we need to get the serial working. I want to get those nice DXs. This is actually 1 foot, 2 foot in the ground. I want to go that deep and put the concrete. You see what I'm going to do with this too. I want to put this thing in the middle and put those bolts in it, and it'll swing back either way when you lift up the beam and put it on the ladder. And I got this rod just a couple of days ago. This is what's one I'm going to use, the big long ones. But right now it's too hot to do anything in this weather. Let's hope it cools down soon. But that's the only thing. I'm using the Nano VA because you guys see what I'm having the problem. It could be too low, or probably need an RJ6 coax, but if you put an antenna tuner on it, it'll be okay. It should be able to knock that 2 down to a 1 on a lot of the channels. And mostly you can do that on a matcher, because if you go to that area to knock that in 1, it should be knock out some of that down on the 27 megahertz. Think about it, it can do that. So I'll catch you guys later. This is UDX362 out of East Tennessee. Foxman362 World Radio on YouTube. We'll bring out some more videos of this Sirio Sy27 real soon. But keep an eye on my skip videos. I'll be able to bring out some more when I'm out there. And hope to catch you guys later. And I'll probably be taking this down a little bit later today and repaint this. And I'm going to use that barbecue paint like I did the other one. So, and maybe we'll try the SWRs again sometime soon. And maybe we'll get some tests out of this with an antenna matcher. I have that AT100 might work. And that other one might be able to work with that one I have. But I would love to have a good antenna tuner if you guys have one. If you want to get rid of one for free, you can send it to me and let me know. Like the MJ Versa, I'd love to have one of those. It just needs like, if it's like 1,000 watts and can go at least above 300, that's the average. I need to go somewhere around 1,000 or 500 watts. So we're going between 100 watts to 300 would be my average for this one. So we get those DXs in Australia and on the land down underneath. And might be able to get you guys to hear me on this thing. I know it's a big guy, but I bought this during Christmas for a reason. I wanted to get a striker for Christmas. I got this instead, but I can get a striker anytime. I had to went for this guy. I always wanted to have a beam. And I went for a good quality because the Mako is probably the easiest, but I had to went with this. It's going to last me a long time. Especially all those trees and the protection. It might be able to protect this thing from being blown to death. I might go 40 feet on the pole, because I can get away at least 40 feet or 30. And it depends on the elevation where you live, because I like 800 feet down the valleys. And those mountains up there are like 2,000 feet. So I hope we get this thing working soon, be good. But that's my Nano VA showing that. This guy I'll show that video on YouTube. I'll put it down in the description. That's where I learned this stuff from him. He makes it sound easy, but maybe, how did he got that thing really tuned down? He told me you didn't trim it, or they have to trim it. If you trim it, you can mess it all up. I did it like foot measurements in inches. That's how I did it. Not micrometers. That's what they do. Or we can switch out a different gamut match and make it a little better. You guys probably can make one of these. This is why a lot of people should buy this antenna and do some field testing and do a lot of videos on this to get the right SWRs, and I think somebody will do it right. But an antenna matcher is the way you go. So I'll catch you guys later. UDX362, Foxman362 on this Monday. I'm glad you guys have a great Fall Days weekend. OTR was great, and hope to see you guys soon. And we'll bring out some more videos soon. UDX362. Shooting a shocker wave out here. And I'll say this is the Foxman waving on back. Hope we get this beam working real soon when this weather cools down. But we got to get this thing set up the way I wanted to do it. And I need a rotor for this guy too. So I'll catch you guys later. And I'll bring out some more skip videos soon on the Mako. And the Cobra, maybe. Quite good. So, it's looking good. And I'll catch you later.